Week 2, Superchargers against the Boomstick Warriors, and I am joined tonight for this second game by co-caster HumanBones, who you may have heard before in Week 1. Our regular co-caster, A. Blair, is playing tonight, so he will be unable to cast with me. How you doing, Bones?
I'm doing really good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Well, you just came hot off a 2-round victory this week. In fact, you've had, I believe, two 2-round victories.
Yep,
So
that's
you're
true.
team captain of the Sexual Panthers, HumanBones, now sitting at the top of the leaderboard going into week 3. Why don't you run us through the two teams here?
Absolutely. So obviously, this map is a lot different from the week 1 map. You're going to look to see either members of these teams trying to make synergized runs with power-up timing, and as the ability also with the green armor, really trying to make those timed runs. Both teams actually come into this game coming off of 3-round victories. The Superchargers came off a 3-round victory against the Steel Ball Runners. This map probably fits their team a little bit better than week 1. They're really flexible. They can rotate positions, and their captain Ralphus is the master strategist. He's the one that calls all the shots. They have been performing really well in practice between timing the spheres, coordinating pushes. So look for Ralph to be the main runner, but things happen in games. It could be that he switches positions. Coming up next, we've got Killing Blair. He was actually very flexible in week 1. He came back and helped out on defense when he could, but he also made some of those pushes. On this map, you kind of expect him to play kind of that main defender role. He's been really lighting people up in practice all week. Their third, that's just Prime. He's been doing a great job. He's been kind of interfering with the other team and kind of playing that middle spot in between the runner and the defender. Helping out both of them, I should say. And he's the kind of guy that he's not going to show up number one on the top of the stat line, but he's vitally important to the success of this team. He plays a strong part in covering, like I said, both the runner and the defender. And last but not least, Solar. Solar is a new member of Suck, new member of the Superchargers, fresh off the trade hotline this week. If you see him playing, this will be his debut. He's been getting a lot of practice in. He is also an accomplished mid player and runner. And over on the other side, we've got the Boomstick Warriors coming off a 3-round win against Rip and Tear. They have been relentlessly practicing each week, and their main breakout player, I should say, league rookie Azriel, he is looking to step up his game once again this week. Team captain Devastation, solid defender, 149% kill death ratio last week. He is a Doom and Quake veteran, really good with item timing. And, he's somebody that will run around the map trying to figure out how long it takes you to get from point A to point B. He really identifies every part of the map that he can. He is, another great strategist, expected to lead the charge, make the most calls regarding map control. I mentioned Azriel. He had a strong running week last week. He was really, really relentless over and over making those runs, 91 touches last week. Combine him with J Warrior, and they're going to get a lot of touches, a lot of good runs. J Warrior, solid mid support. In some teams, he kind of plays that middle of the road stats, but he is not someone that can't take over the leaderboard in terms of the stats, whether it's scoring flags or outfragging his opponents. And he's really an integral, important part of this team. He's going to be there to bring Azriel to the finish line. And last but not least, Godlike has not played yet, but he has been around for quite some time. Godlike is known to be a solid fill the gaps all around type player. So I think that's a pretty good matchup. Both teams, like I said, 3 points coming off of three round victories. This is going to be game of the week in my opinion.
Absolutely. Considering both of these teams are coming off victories from round one, this is the only matchup in week two where both teams came away with a victory and they're head to head now. So one team will not walk away with a victory, whether it be a tie or a loss. Uh, but one also big thing with Azriel, who is a Xandronum based player, made his debut last week. Definitely the person I am favored to watch due to having 91 touches, like you said. Rip and Tear, their opponent that week, had a combined touch count of 116. So he was on top of their flag constantly, and that helped them a great deal secure a lot of flags. And that offensive pressure is very important on a map like this. If you can make the mid players collapse back into the base, that frees up your defender and your mid play to control the sphere better, set up another run, coordinate you with your team. There's a lot that happens in this map that's very nuanced, a lot of finesse. We just all games so far this week have been 2 round victories, and this might be the only game that may go 3 rounds due to the tool set that each team has and how skilled both captains are in a finesse based map like this. Um, Also, we want to take a moment to shout out again the crazy person, very generous person who dropped 30 anonymous subs to the Twitch chat, a huge show of support for the World Doom League and the
Pretty
channel.
amazing.
That's obviously going to go back into the league in a way that we'll have to figure out, but that deserves its own special shout out. Demo stars with his own 1,000 plus bit donation. Thank you so much. Glad everybody who is new to watching Doom is enjoying the broadcast. This is pretty new to us. We've only just started doing a format like this season. This is week 2. We have 5 weeks total plus the playoffs after that. So, um, as far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, we'll be doing this for a little bit while more to come. But soon we got game time about 8 minutes now. It's 5:52 my time, which is 8:52 Eastern. And game time is at 9. Do you have any predictions that you will foresee that you would like to share with the chat here?
Well, I'm gonna agree with you. I think this is going to 3 rounds. I think both of these teams are really evenly matched. You've got two captains that are veterans to this league, and you've got their number twos who have been around just as long. So it's going to be a real back and forth. I think right now the betting odds say that Suck is favored. I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain, and I'm going to say that the Boomstick Warriors take this in 3. I think what I've seen out of Suck in practice is they really like to pressure. They really like to pressure a lot, and that can be detrimental to a certain point if you can't control your enemy's spawns right in that front area of the base. So, I think with the relentless way that Azriel is running, I think he's going to be able to sneak behind Suck and get some flags out. So early prediction, I'm going Boomstick Warriors in 3.
All right, that's pretty solid prediction. I think. Oh God, I actually don't. I'm kind of going back and forth. I've practiced with both these teams, and they're very cerebral in different ways. Boomstick Warriors are very. They're like a blaze edge on this map so far. From what I've seen, they're very apt in controlling mid for only a brief second and then splitting off different routes into the base on offense. The Superchargers, I've played with them. They like to work together as kind of this blob that moves across the map. Um, with so far, it's been Cabler on defense, who has been a very strong defensive player throughout his career. So both teams are definitely coming in this very strong from everything I've seen in practice. Um, as far as predictions, I'm gonna go out on a limb and call this a tie.
Hmm.
And yes, actually, Yellowtail called out in chat. This game could actually break the curse of the one-sided win for the past 2 weeks. And we'll switch over to the recap screen for a second to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. This is the week 1 results, and we've seen the blue team take all the games in week 1, and so far every single team, starting on red, in week 2 has won. Got a very odd little curse going.
It's really very eerie. I don't know what that means. I know we talked about this last week. I don't know if it means anything, but it's really creepy.
It's very bizarre. There is a little bit before we get into the game. We'll kind of touch base on a little bit of a player preference myth that players prefer to be on the red team due to how the screen will brighten up red when you get hit. When you get blasted, a little bit easier to see blue team members rather than red. But in this source port, you can freely adjust the blood sensitivity, so it's a little bit less of a thing. But a lot of veteran players still prefer to be on red, so maybe that has something to do with it. Although that doesn't at all explain why week 1 went all blue. You never know what's going to happen next. We may actually see this game go for 3 rounds. We have not seen a 3-round game this week on this map yet.
And that's kind of surprising because I think this map is all about adjusting to what your opponent's doing, and like you've talked about all week, there are so many different ways to get into the base, and so many different ways to capture the flags. I'm surprised that there wasn't a lot more adjustments being made, but it's early in the season, teams still getting to know each other. It could be possible that they're not quite there yet, but I think this is the game. You're right. I think we're going to see this game go to 3.
We got a few minutes left, and we'll actually do a little flyby of the map. If I can join the server where everybody is. I see a whole bunch of people in B server. We'll hop right in there. Switch that bad boy over. We'll run a little ad break as well for those people on mobile before the game gets started, just to make sure that we're uninterrupted during this next slugfest. And yeah, we have the last that real quick. Good eye. Thank you. I probably would have missed that otherwise. Was still a little caught off guard from that huge dono. But while we run that ad break real quick, we'll go through this map. It's a lot more open in the base than last week's map. We'll have a lower area that is controlled from an internal switch inside the base. Opens up into kind of this route between bases with this switch on the inside, allowing you to get back into the base. Run through here, run through the teleporter, and you're on the other side, making underneath runs pretty viable, if not loud, due to people being able to hear the door and communicate to the team that, hey, the other runner can only go one way. We also have a lift out at mid here, can triggered from the outside, but cannot from the inside, making runners who take this route up, they have to have it lowered by a teammate. We have the Soul Sphere Podium, grants you 100 extra health. Every 30 seconds it will be respawned. It is not dependent on the player's health who grabbed it, like Quake. It is a flat 30 seconds after the time it's been picked up. There's an upper area between bases. Only 2 super shotgun spawns in the map, making players rely on their chain gun and single shotgun skill upon spawn, kind of making the map a little bit less grindy. We have green armor in both bases, making it very viable for runners to grab this. Green armor reduces damage by 33% for as long as you have it. So there's a lot more utility on this map to work with, and it's multiple running routes and mid control, a lot more space and hard cover, give it a greater sense of finesse than week 1's map. We're just waiting for the teams to kind of file in. Waiting on... Oh, actually, the teams are here. Oh, wait, no. No. I was reading TOF. We're waiting on Boomstick Warriors to show.
Yeah, TOF still excited from their 2-round victory. They want to play again.
Is it symmetrical? Yes, it is symmetrical. It is mirrored. So you can do a quick lap around and you see like the stair formation, the underground area, the upper will be mirrored. The only thing that's not directly mirrored is the mid sectors, but the proportions are the same. And you can see in the red base that we have the same structured setup. In Doom, there are no asymmetrical CTF maps that are played in regulation. In fact, it's very heavily favored to have... I would go so far as to say a requirement to have symmetrical maps. Just for parity purposes. And I don't see any of the Boomstick Warriors in the spectator list.
Looks like we've got J Warrior over on
Oh,
blue.
I see him. Yeah, he is on blue. So they will be filing in shortly. But all of the superchargers are here. They seem ready to rock.
The difference between a mirrored map and a symmetrical, it's an interesting difference, you know, because if you play on one color, you get used to playing the map that way on a mirrored map, and going over to the other color is really confusing. So it's interesting when you have maps that are mirrored versus symmetrical.
A little bit of dead air here as we wait for the players to file in. It's game time.
They're building the tension.
Well, the tension is being built. And in the maps we have, doesn't get a whole lot of attention, but we have custom textures featuring the WDL logo that we added a long time ago, just to make it kind of more personalized.
Yeah, and those textures actually bring out the great texturing that the author of this map, Rot King, put. I mean, this is one of the nicest looking maps out there.
And in classic Rot King fashion, it's got a very flavorful name.
Yes.
A little too hot for TV.
A little too hot for TV, but at least you can pronounce it.
It was, that's true. Rot King has some interesting maps and map names, but is a very established capture the flag map author.
Boy, I'd love to have that brain for just a day.
Would you? I'm not sure I want to know what goes on in there.
Maybe not.
We love Rot King. He's a very veteran mapper. One of many who have authored DTF maps that we play throughout the season. And each season has a different lineup of maps. We'll be playing a whole variety of different styles just to put each team through the paces. Let's see.
Looks like both teams are ready to go.
Yep, we are. And actually, I need to edit that command for next week to kind of include a link to the Discord for anyone who's actually interested. And yeah, second, a lot of people got subs from some very mysterious benefactor. Team Captain Ralph is calling for ready, waiting on Boomstick Warriors to confirm. And we'll be seeing a call vote restart here shortly for the last game in week 2. And kind of the headliner, late on a Sunday evening. Two strong teams, the Superchargers and the Boomstick Warriors. Calling vote a restart. Only one team will leave this game a back-to-back winner from week 1 and week 2. We just need one more vote to restart. Come on, let's go. There it
And the
is.
countdown begins.
We will be watching Ralphus, team captain, moving through upper mid. Seems to be taking a running approach. He's known as a pretty powerful runner. Trying to get out of the base. Dogged by 2 people. That was the first touch, and he got out to mid, promising a pretty good start. Dev on offense himself. Doesn't make it very far past
Yeah,
the base
Superchargers
entrance.
that first sphere really early.
Yeah, taking initial spheres control is important because then you know the timing of it. Ralphus, 30 health, out to mid. But it's a pickup. That's just Prime. Try to grab it, but just
Almost.
people were too close. But they got sphere control again. Prime with 200, now 125. Now 15. Took too many point-blank shots. Ralph with another touch. Can't seem to make it out past mid, but the aggression is clearly in the Supercharger's favor.
Yep, this is
Footing.
what we talked about. Relentless running.
There it is, and that pressure matters greatly. I mean, we could even probably see that statistic later when we run stacks. We'll see how many touches happen, but the game is not even close to over yet. J-Warrior across mid with 50 health. This looks like first blood with 5 health left. Boomstick Warriors taking a first flag lead in round 1.
And expect to see Ralphus and company really push now.
They are known to double down on offense, just to knock people off
They got the
equilibrium.
pickup.
Ralphus with the run across mid, but he's chased by 2
classic
people.
stand,
Prime
Ralph.
clears it. Dev is in his own base, clears the defender, looking to return the red flag. The classic standoff. Players are looking a little wounded. Ralph is in much more trouble.
J-Warrior was chasing Ralphus around like in a circle there.
And blue returns, but that is a pickup.
Oh,
What a pickup from Dev. That flag getting stuck on that step
that was
really hurt.
incredible.
And that is a quirk of the Doom engine, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, you have to be on the same surface to pick up an object. Ralphus with 15 health trying to get out to mid.
Ralphus pretty much taking this run home all by himself.
Now, return the flag.
Can they get the return?
Oh, that's
No.
that last second return. They weren't able to return the flag quick enough. Resetting both teams and hurting the Chargers' morale just a little bit, no doubt.
Yeah, Ralph really did some work there.
Ralph waiting at the lift says, please lower it, please, I beg you, and it's lowered. And that is a great example of the lift strategy we talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. Very expertly used, and Ralph with the Soul Sphere, again for another run. But he's getting brought down pretty quick. That armor helped, but just not enough. Too much buckshot headed his way. But they're only down by 1 flag now. J-Warrior with 5 health, can he make it out to mid? He goes upper, but there was Ralph waiting for him.
Yeah, Ralph likes to talk about training the other team to expect something out of them. Let's see if he's trained them now for that lift and then he doesn't try something else.
May have to work a couple more times for them to say, okay, that lift is a problem. Ralph out to mid with 5 health. It wasn't enough. The cover was there, but it just didn't cover every angle. J-Warrior trying to get past the defenders. Prime with a run of his own. A reset on both sides here.
They are making some good touches. We're going to see, will the Boomstick Warriors crack?
That is kind of the Supercharger's bread and butter every time Ralph has been a captain. Relentless pressure until they make a mistake that will cost them. Now, how will Boomstick Warriors respond? Will they hold fast? Dev is doing a pretty good job in leading his team in the first round. Ralph with another touch. 25 health across mid, but he got intercepted.
And it seems
It
like
is.
Suck is getting all the touches here. We haven't seen many from the Boomstick Warriors. They gotta keep pushing.
Ralph with another touch. Oh, got body blocked, and that can cost you severely. Dev with 5 health going upper. Can't even make it out to mid. Got intercepted through that staircase. It is tough to hold on this map against a variety of touches. I mean, You can have all the touches in the world you want, but at the end of the day, it will be quality of touch as well, and that's why the Warriors are ahead at the moment. But halfway through round 1, 5 minutes left. Ralph, 55 health, can't make it out of the Warriors' base. This is one of the most blistering fast games we've seen yet.
That's just Prime picking up the frags here. He's got 40 halfway through the match. Doing a really good job helping both Blair and Ralph.
Pushing over to Dev with a pretty clean run out here. He got cover from his teammates, and that armor helped him immensely. And that was enough to put it 3-1.
That was like a bullet. Dev just went really fast across the middle.
That is SR50 for you, a little movement trick that a lot of runners have to use to get out of range of Defender's super shotguns. Boosts your speed a little bit, but you can't turn. Dev trying to make it out of the base. But gets trapped on that pillar, magnetized. Looks like Ralph couldn't keep the flag away from the lava.
Yeah, you can see Superchargers are trying to make some of those quirky runs. Just not quite getting them out yet.
And that has its own merit. If you change up your running procedure, definitely forces them to adapt. But J-Warrior has 85 health in his own upper. He needs that flag returned that they have
Ralph up here waiting for the
up
lift
at the
again.
lift. He's probably screaming, hey, our flag is up at the lift. And that was enough. 4-1. Boomstick Warriors taking a pretty commanding lead in round 1. How will the Chargers adapt?
Well, you know, it hasn't been this kind of game. It's been really close. It sucks getting those flags out, but they're just not, teamwork's not there yet.
Teamwork's there, but they gotta tighten it up because J-Warrior, Azrael, and Devastation are just running a commanding lead on them. At this point, with 3 minutes left, I wonder if are there discussions with the Chargers internally? Like, what do we change up for round 2? How do we take this back?
Yep, and you see both Ralph and Dev making strong runs getting across the map, not able to make it into their base.
Switching over to Blair, who seems to be holding kind of an early base defense, pushing up and rotating in when his carrier gets dropped. But he's out to mid with a touch. It looks like the cover was enough. We switch over to Blair at the right time to go from defending and clearing the base to making a run of his own, point to point.
Great run from the co-caster.
Blair with another touch.
Looks like that was the adjustment. And Ralph has 180 here, 180 health.
Ralph does have the Soul Sphere, but their flag just got taken. It dropped down to lower that little med kit corner, and Ralph is in trouble.
Can Ralph
He needs
survive?
to get out, and that cover was
Very
there.
nice.
That cover was right there when it needed to be. The Chargers switching it up, barely scraping by with a 5 health capture, but it's not horseshoes and hand grenades. You either
Sure
make the
isn't.
capture, or you don't.
To
1
me, it
minute.
looks like they pretty much abandoned all defending here, and Superchargers are all O.
That seems to be working out for them, cracking Boomstick Warriors defense.
The addition of Blair on offense has really helped out.
No, for sure. Blair's powerful shotgun skills
Oh, the
are
block.
helpful, but that body block probably hurt them. Well, actually, J-Warrior could... No, that could be it. And that is...
Ah,
The carrier himself said, no, I'm returning this flag. I'm ending this round. And that is the Boomstick Warriors 5-3 over the Superchargers for round 1.
Blair got a good shot on that last flag runner. But you know what? The Superchargers improved. Looks like they found something that'll work for them.
Oh, absolutely. And that is something they have to take momentum-wise into round 2. Solar now, Prime has spectated and allowed Solar to jump in. They're going to call vote a restart because it got a little murky between the team switching.
It's a really interesting decision because, like I mentioned, Prime was really fragging well. And, you know, to take him out of the equation and to throw Solar in. Solar's debut, as we mentioned. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we're actually going to try to tab over to Solar. He grabs the sphere, but he's facing down 2 super shotguns. Can he even make it to the flag? He does, but not much further. Solar has been practicing a lot with Blair and Ralph, so this switch up makes sense, allowing them to change the tempo just a bit. I'm gonna set the spectator cam to overlook the middle. There's no runner to even spectate. That's how quick they returned it. Back over to Ralph. Dev doesn't even make it that far.
What I've seen a lot of from Solar in practice is his rocket running. And he uses it. He used it before. Kind of a new strategy, but he gets out to the top. Taking him down.
Now Solar, trying to get across mid, takes the lift route. But doubles back, because they probably expected him to go upper, but he ran into 2 spawns fresh at their super shotgun. Good boomstick shot from Solar, looking to cover the runner. Not so much.
Doesn't look like the addition of Solar has affected Suck's touch percentage here as they get a flag out across the middle.
Yeah, flag out across mid. If they can return that flag. No, in fact, it's a return for the other team as Ralph actually gets a back-to-back touch here. Drops the flag for his team.
Solar's got to clear the
whereas
base.
It's returned, and he gets intercepted. That chain gun was not enough to bring down the warrior who was looking for his flag. Devastation, trying to make it out to mid, gets gunned down. Who knows what the sphere timing is, as J Warrior also tries to get a touch on his own, and spawns quick enough to kill the carrier. Both teams sending everything they got on offense.
Yeah, it looks like this switch has worked right now for Suck, although TBW just gets the Soul Sphere right there, so let's see.
And the person with the Soul Sphere did not go for the flag right away, but that was some good hold in their base. J Warrior with 50 across. That was a good strategy. And that's a pickup chain of the ages. Devastation finishing that off with 10 health. It's a crippling 2-flag blow.
That move is called pulling a Ralphist.
That is. He used to be known for throwing everybody at offense, and they chain pickups being used against Ralphus in the Superchargers, making life difficult for a red team. Ralph with the flag
making another run. Couldn't quite train it there. Find themselves down by 2, trying to return their own flag.
And there's still 7 minutes left, but are we going to see another pickup? We are going to see another pickup and a clear. Boomstick Warriors doing a great job of chaining it across mid. The support is there when it needs to be.
This game was blown wide open in the last minute. 3 flags. Let's see if Suck. They've got to change something up now.
I agree. The time is now. You have nothing to lose, having already been gone down by 1 round. You're down by 3 flags in this round. Something has to happen. Try everything. See what sticks. See what throws them off.
But you know, I don't think we spent enough time talking about the teamwork that the Boomstick Warriors have shown today. As they get a 4th capture.
God, they get a 4th capture with 6 minutes left. It's like a capture per minute on average. Their teamwork has been absolutely crazy. We've seen a lot of Soul Sphere control from them. But
every member of the team score a flag.
The teamwork has really been them being close enough to their carrier to pick it up and bring it further and fight the Chargers at every angle, showing they're not afraid.
We saw that. We saw that as a key in some of the earlier games. Those train flag runs where multiple members of the same team flag.
And that's it.
That's it.
J-Warrior with a final nail in the coffin. A blistering fast round 2, kind of unexpected. That is pretty wild for our predictions for sure. Boomstick Warriors with a decisive 2-round victory, making sure that there were no games in week 2 that went 3 rounds.
Well, as always, as you've been saying, our predictions are dead wrong.
Yeah, basically never listen to any of the casters for any sort of betting or prediction advice. We're terrible at it, and we don't recommend that you quit your day job to do predictions for Doom. But that will wrap up our double header. Big shout outs to everybody for tuning in for a pretty big event in week 2 as we get a little bit more entrenched with our broadcasting situation. And obviously, again, like the shout outs today to multiple subs from a whole bunch of different people, tons of follows, bit donations, and of course, like that 30 sub bomb that came out of the great blue yonder. Huge thanks to everybody for the support for our little classic game as we kind of broadcast it to the world and show everybody how far Doom competition has made it in the 14 years we've had this league rolling in various different forms, but between the International Doom League and now the World Doom League. Thanks again, guys. I mean, for setting time aside this weekend and checking out the stream. This will be going up on YouTube in the trigger that custom command and that bottom link there. You can subscribe to it and view the games back if you would like. Anything you missed from week 1 and week 2 that we broadcast already, we'll have them up there. And shortly we'll be uploading these 2 games separately. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Bones, for the co-casting.
Thank you, and thank you, everybody.
All right, guys, we will see you next week. The earliest game is Thursday. We may not be able to catch that. We'll see what happens. But for right now, we'll play you out with the World Doom League theme, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody. Have a great Sunday evening.